The New York Giants have selected a defensive back in the first round. They went with Deonte Banks, the corner from Maryland, who was a combine star, explosive numbers during the NFL Combine, very athletic player. Joining me to react to this, Believe in Giants host Bob Papa. Bob, I don't mind the pick. I think that they missed out on the opportunity to maybe get some receivers. As a Giants fan, I was really hoping that they could get one of these receivers, but at the same time, very athletic guy that they're adding to the secondary.
Well, they definitely need corner help, right? I mean, because when you take a look at their situation, Adoree Jackson goes into the last year of his contract. And in Wink Martindale's defense, you got to have corners, and especially physical corners that can play man press, and that's what Banks brings to the table. There'll be some receivers deeper into this draft that they can add. It's not a banner draft, obviously, for receivers, just by the way this whole thing went down. So I think they'll get a swing at some receivers in the second round. But I think they had to address the cornerback situation. They're really thin in that spot. And, they really must have had a great grade on the player, because to jump up one spot to make sure that somebody didn't jump them means that the grade that they had on him was better than the grade that they had on anybody else that was still available.
Yeah, that was also a surprising aspect of that. This is just making that move to trade up. And I'm wondering who maybe they were worried about maybe jumping up to go and get him. But I completely agree with you, Bob. I think that this pick is strong for what we know that Wink Martindale is looking for in his corners for this defense. You need athletic guys. I look at what Marlon Humphrey has done early on in his career for the Ravens and was really successful when Martindale was defensive coordinator. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain too much. My main hope and final thought here is I just hope that they do get a good receiver with a lot of them already off the board, because again, at the end of this offseason, it still hasn't really been addressed.
No, it hasn't, but they're not going to force their hand if the board doesn't say do it. And remember the other thing. Remember who you're playing against. You have a physical guy in A.J. Brown in Philadelphia. You have Terry McLaurin, and you have the group of receivers the Cowboys hit you with. So when you start thinking about who you're going to play, how you're going to stop them, and a small corner like the one Washington took, I would not have been a big fan of had they taken him. I like a little bit more size in this situation and a little bit more physicality.
Well, it's certainly going to be a strong pick for that secondary. Bob, thank you so much for joining us, folks. Make sure you go and check out Believe in Giants on Believe's YouTube channel or wherever you can find a podcast. Bob, really appreciate and hope you enjoy the rest of your night. And hopefully the Giants have a really successful rest of this draft.
Thanks for having me.